my fellow readers, this is Dark Symphony 777 with another fan fiction reviews. As always, a link to the story will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts on the story, and finally, this is my opinion. My opinion is not indicative for everyone in the world, so please respect that. So, the stories I am reviewing today are Sonic Meets Star Fox by Dark Lord 1997 and Chaos Chronicles of Rage the Hedgehog by Chaos Fire 0987. Okay, so the reason I'm doing these two stories together is because if I do these individually, they will be way too short. This story will be probably, both of them will probably like 5-6 minutes long. So instead of just doing them separately, I'm just going to combine them and get them both out of the way because there's not a lot to talk about with this story. So, let's start with Sonic Meets Star Fox. What's the plot? Well, it's just Sonic and his friends. They're just Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are just hanging out. Eggman attacks, traps them into a device that launches them into space. They end up at the Great Fox, and then they just hang out with Star Fox. Eggman goes to space to finish them off. He realizes, they were captured by these anthropomorphic animals. Where's my wife? Hire Star Wolf. Metal Sonic's there. And they pretty much just return. They basically beat Eggman and return home. Yeah, there's just nothing. This is like a 11,000 word story that normally I would kind of tear apart. However, I have to make the argument, and I think this story was written like this way on purpose. It's not very often, but there are stories out there that are meant to be written like a children's, like basically for children. I think that's what this story is. I don't know for sure, but I do think the author deliberately meant to have this story basically be something for young children, right? Basically like, I remember when I worked for a supermarket, this girl didn't like reading because she wanted to do something else, and I actually suggested fan fiction because she's like, "Oh, do you like SpongeBob? So you read some SpongeBob." There's certainly people who actually write like kiddie SpongeBob stories meant, so someone like a 6-7-year-old can read. I even worked with the father, so just keep an eye on everything. There might be some stuff that she shouldn't read. As long as you keep an eye on that, you should be good. But yeah, so if there's kiddie stories for SpongeBob, I'm sure there's going to be kiddie stories for stuff like this. If you actually look through this, the grammar's clean. There's not really much in the way of characters. They're extremely bare bones. Like there's not really any character. There's barely any characters. There's not really a character arc. The plot is just basically they get sent up to space, meet up with Star Fox. They just hang out. Tails repairs Arwing and kind of flies around. There's some space fights. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to do that. And then they go home after beating Eggman. You're done. There's no grammar errors. The story is way too short to really establish a proper pacing to it. It's just really fast, which makes sense because in fact, if this was written as a children's story, a lot of this would make sense. Kids aren't really used to reading like the deep, like the stories that you and me and a lot of other people are used to, like the deep, intricate plot lines and characters and like all these complicated words. They want something just they can go point to say, "Yay, I read that. It's Tails repair Arwing. I did it, Daddy." Feel them Okay. Okay, I'm back. All right. But yeah, if this story was, crap, I lost my thought because I just like, whoa. Uh, but yeah, this story is just literally meant to be a kiddie story. It's like there's no characters because little kids, they're not gonna really care about the characters because they just want to see them do something. Like, oh, Tails walked down the street to get a glass of milk. Delicious. It was tasty and nutritious. The pace is really fast because usually children's stories are meant to be just very, very basic and simple. It doesn't really, and that includes the pacing. The stories are usually very, very short. So I don't really see anything bad with this. If this wasn't meant to be a kid story, then this is bad. This is just a bad story. But I'm pretty sure reading through this is supposed to be a fan fiction meant for like 5, 6 years old, 6 years old reads. Like I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's move on to this story. Okay, before you say anything, I'm not gonna do the recommendations on this because it's just there's just too many unknown variables. Um, I don't have a favorite part. There's nothing I would. I'm not sure what I would change because I don't know if this was meant to be written like this on purpose. I just, it's just, I can't, I literally cannot be able to kind of quantify recommending it or not recommending because this is something that I just don't know about. Because ultimately, it's going to have to come down to when I upload this video and I contact the author, it's like, does the author actually respond and comment on this video to let me know if it's written this way on purpose? So let's move to this story. Okay. I think the plot, I can easily summarize the plot by just reading this. Rage the Hedgehog, guardian of the Chaos Emeralds, has his first major adventure with the fate of the world in his hands and his friends' hands. Either way, in the end, he and he alone must duel Christian the Dark to decide the fate of the world. But little does Rage know that Christian is not alone. Oh, Christine. Christine. So, how does that meme go again? Out with the edge. Yeah, this story is just edge. So much edge. Um, I don't I don't know how to actually describe this plot because it's just it's not so much it doesn't have a plot. It's just the plot is just so batshit insane. I literally can't describe it. It's like, okay, so this guy named Rage, he guards the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emeralds because Knuckles died and now hangs out with Tikal. And then he has to fight this guy named Christian and Mephiles and Nazo, and he goes around fighting the Chaos Emeralds and the Dark Emeralds and then the Master Emeralds, and then he has to fight like evil versions of these characters, and he like there's like a Metroid Prime 2 scenario where he has to go through like light and dark because it's like, oh, he's trying to wake up Dark Gaia, and I know there's Eggman, and then there's this, and then it's like so much edge you can just end the world on it. And then more likely he probably says somewhere along the line, "Where's that damn Force Chaos Emerald?" And then Eggman's probably saying a speech somewhere and pissing on the moon or something like that. Point is, this story is just dumb. Yeah, that's how I say it. Instead of building up to this, I just say dumb because this story is meant. Okay, so I gotta actually, you actually got a back door, so I need to actually, because I need to actually show you this. Splatoon. Yeah. This one. Nope. This one. Because this story is kind of like this, where it's trying to be so bad it's good. Like, this is what I think the story is trying to be. It's trying to be a horrendously disgusting story on purpose. And I think it fails because I can't make heads or tails on this plot. I can't make heads or tails on the characters because obviously Rage is a Gary's too. And everyone is just like, they're just doing stuff. They're just throwing and attacking and fighting and just speaking and then cursing. And Edge, more Edge, and then there's Razor's Edge, and then there's Ramon Raider's Edge, and then there's just like Mount Average levels of Edge. So much layers of Edge. That I don't like. Yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure this is. It's trying to be so bad it's good, but it's not. We Are a High Tide Era, which is a Splatoon fanfiction I think I reviewed last year or 2 years ago, was a so bad it's good fanfiction. Like, it's so horrendously bad, but you can't take your eyes off it because it's just, for some reason, it's weirdly entertaining. And this story's bad. Like, this story is horrendously bad. But there's an undeniable charm that I liked about it. So how do I know this story was bad, but High Tide Era wasn't? Well, first off, that story had actual character developments. It was very, very over the top and dumb, but it existed. And two, that story had pretty damn good grammar. This story, you can literally just, you don't even have to, I don't even have to go through the whole, you can just read this. My name is Rage the Hedgehog. I now guard the Chaos Emeralds. See, there's random grammar errors everywhere. There's random grammar errors. Like, why is guard, why? Oh, I wish Sonic could get over Knuckles' death. Knuckles is not even capitalized. Death. He's been like this for 8 years now. When I first got the job when I was 13. Oh, why did that guy give me this story? Why did that guy give me this story? I don't know. This is just it's bad grammar. It doesn't go over the top enough to go into that so bad it's good. So what makes something so bad it's good? It's when you know you're making something bad, but then you lean into the badness and just let's see how bad we can get it. And it's like a wink and a nod. Like with High Tide Era, you know once you started reading, you kind of know what you're going into with them. With the band, start doing band stuff, and then they randomly make a pizza parlor, and then they randomly become superheroes, and then they all go their separate ways at the end. At least there's a clear, concise method to the madness. This is just, they just go somewhere, they talk, they fight, the fights are bad, are sentence long. There's like random bullshit elements, and there's just it's like the author's trying to throw everything at it to try and kind of tell you, it's like, oh, this is a bad story, but it doesn't, but it's not bad enough that there is kind of like a charm to it. It's just bad, like horrendously bad, because it doesn't go over the top with anything. It's just bad grammar, bad pacing, bad characters, bad plot. What can I tell you about any of the characters? I don't know. What can I tell you how bad the grammar is? Just read this. I don't know. What about the pacing? Well, I don't know. And that's why I wanted to do these two stories together, because they're just going to be so short that. Would I recommend this? No. What's my favorite part? None. What would I change? Fuck if I know. I don't know I don't even know where to start with this story of how how to theoretically fix it. Because how do you fix a bad story? Because it's like, well, do you try and make it so bad, trying to lean into it and make it so bad it's good? Or do you try and make it good? Occam's razor. Let's go. Okay. If we had to pick and choose, let's make it so bad it's good. If we have to do that, first off, clean up the grammar. Get rid of like most of the characters. A lot of these characters are just OCs that the author just puts in. Have Rage be like a caricature of Shadow the Hedgehog. Make him like so edgy. It's like, oh yeah, all I can do is say edgy jokes and be super emo. You know? Yeah. Have a bitch slap like everyone is like, shut up. But I want to say, what I was just saying. What are you saying? I was saying hi. Oh. Why'd you hit me for saying hi? I only listen to hot hellos or salutations. Say one of those. Salutations? Good. Yeah. Make it just lean into the absurdity. It's like, okay, he has to go to these. You have to go to the dark earth and light earth and find these dark emeralds. Have them go to like each dark emerald is like held by a random person that challenges him to like a stupid contest. Like, you must challenge me and get this dark emerald by beating me in DDR. Okay. Hey, you just hit me. It's like, isn't that DDR? No, that's just slapping. Oh. Can I have the dark emerald? No. Why'd you hit me that time? Because I wanted to. Oh, okay. Why that time? Because you didn't give me the emerald. Fine, here, go. Get out of my mommy. What? Please thank me. This story is bad. I don't have anything more to say about that. Yeah, this is just these two stories are nothing. So yeah, these are these two stories I'm gonna need here before I just go insane. I will see you next time. This has been Dark Symphony 777, and